Hello everyone, and welcome back to Witchwood. Now, we are going after the soul of the leech. Alright, making sure I was unmuted, because I've done that before. To the swamp! Alright, which way is the swamp? Ah, here. Alright, here we go, to the sick house. Hold on now, this sick house is full to the brim and festering with disease. Don't you know there's a deadly plague going around? A plague, you say? This is the first I've heard of it. Oh, it's terrible. It affects the young and old, the healthy and infirm alike. We're so swamped with patients I can barely catch my breath. So what are you doing out here? Shouldn't you be inside tending to the ill? We've just got so many bodies piling up. Someone has to bury them before they spread the sickness further. She drops her voice to a whisper, looking ashamed. It's gotten so crowded, I've even had to dump some in the swamp. That seems unethical. But don't worry, the leech is inside working her miracles on the other patients. They couldn't be in better hands. The leech? That's the doctor of this place. The best in the land. I don't dare think about how much worse it would be without her skills. I need to speak to her. I'm checking up on someone who came through here. Sorry, I cannot in good conscience allow a person of your years to enter such an infectious space without a proper inoculation. But with all the patients, we're low on medicine, and I'm afraid I don't have any to spare. Bah, what's a simple booster shot made from anyway? There's plenty of medicinal ingredients right here in the swamp. I'll go get them myself. Well, it's a pretty basic prescription. If you bring me the components, I'll be able to mix and administer it, then you can go inside. I'll need 3 milligrams of bug ichor extract, 5 grams of toxic thistle powder, and some lazy grass to numb the pain. Let me go grab some more thistle. I'm just grabbing a little extra while I'm in here. Hello. Welcome in. I'll need 3 milligrams of bug ichor extract, yada yada yada. Okay, you place a sloshing jar of ichor in the nurse's hands. She inspects it suspiciously, but does not ask where it came from. I'll need 3 milligrams of, toxic thistle. You snap off a few spiny thistles and pass them to the nurse. She's careful not to prick herself on the sharp ends. The nurse takes the dried grasses you have been so careful to keep intact and immediately crushes them into powder. The nurse nods at you, gathering all the ingredients into a small hand-sized mortar. You hold your breath as she mashes everything into a slimy, stinky liquid. Not the most pleasant stuff, but I can assure you it beats growing lumps where no lumps should be. Speak for yourself. One can never have enough lumps. The nurse shrugs at you, sucking up the bubbling mixture into an oversized syringe. She gestures for you to hold out your arm. After stabbing into your flesh several times, she fails to find any veins with the point of the needle. Sorry, you seem to have some strange physiology? Bah, give it here, I'll do it. You seize the injector and jab it into your arm without further fuss. A cool sensation climbs into your fingertips. You doubt the medicine will have any effect, but at least it should make the nurse happy. There, I feel much better. Can I go inside now? Oh, yes, of course. You should be immune to the plague for the time being. Just be quick, the leech is very busy. doctor slithers from one patient to another, checking off little boxes on the clipboard. From under her wide-brimmed hat, she appears to notice your entry but pays you no mind. You must be the leech. I was hoping you could help me find one of your patients. Do you have the symptoms? Crackling of bones, oozing eyes, skin rot, perhaps yellow liver? Let's get you examined. The leech extends her toothy snout, prodding your body and searching for some hidden malignance, whatever that word was. You slap her away with a swift palm. If it's sickness you're looking for, you won't find it on me. My dear, we are all sick with something. Whether it's a broken heart or a broken arm, we all suffer in one way or another. You peer through her tightly wrapped garments and see a deep darkness underneath. Despite the warmth in her words, there is a sense of hunger and urgency in her tone. I am here to heal, to mend, to put all of your troubles at ease. Now tell me, what ails you? I told you already, I'm in perfect health. I'm here to find someone, a man who came through here with a sprained ankle. Half the patients who come to me have twisted this or broken that, before the pox sets in, that is. Can you be more specific? What does he look like? Oh, I'm not sure. Well then how do you expect me to help you? Come back to me when you know who you're looking for. You look about the sick house at the coughing, wheezing, bedridden souls. Perhaps some of them will be able to identify the missing husband? There's a fellow with dark hair, dark eyes. Beardy guy you're looking for? I miss that man with the beard. Short fellow got to. Okay, short beard. Yeah, he had darker complexion than me. Okay, dark, short beard. It's the beard. Okay. This patient just stared into the distance. Short fellow. So short. Wondering what that was. Okay. Well, do you have any better idea who exactly you're looking for? Shorter than most. I'm going to need a bit more than that. Dark in features. Narrowing it down, give me something else. Or a full beard. Ah, yes. I remember that poor man now. He came in with a swollen ankle, but on his journey through the swamp he must have contracted the plague. His condition declined rapidly. I'm sorry to say in the end there wasn't much I could do for him except make him comfortable. He's dead? What sort of sick house is this anyway? My condolences, really. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to doing what I can for the living. At least tell me where his wife might collect his body. The nurse outside seemed to be having trouble keeping track of them all. I'm sorry, that information is reserved for the next of kin. Judging by your physique, I wouldn't say you were related to the deceased in the slightest. The doctor turns away from you to prepare vials of medicine. Better return to the old woman in the swamp with the bad news. Oh no, I was hoping to find her husband alive. That's just sad. Do you have news of my husband? He should have been back from the sick house by now. You bow your head in condolence. I'm sorry to say that your husband has passed away. The leech said he fell ill with the plague. Rather than grief, an expression of mild annoyance crosses the woman's face. Oh, what a nuisance! You don't seem that upset by the news. Well, he was getting on in his years. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I just didn't think it would be from some measly plague of all things. So, where's the fool now? I'm not sure. The leech wouldn't tell me. But her assistant mentioned having to dispose of the dead out in the swamp. Ah, brimstone and bandersnatch. I know I'm already in your debt, sister, but can I ask you for another favor? I suppose I've already stuck my foot in this mess. What is it? There's an old circle of power just west of here. It served me well in my younger years, and I expect it's still got some juice left. I need you to dust it off and fire it up again. I'd go do it myself, but by the time I get there, my poor husband's body would already be reduced to worm farts. What am I to do with this circle? You're a knowledgeable lass. The engravings on the obelisk should explain the rest. Okay. It's this one, right? This little circle right here? Is it? I have no idea. Let me take a little look-see. Ooh, it's down here. Alright. Excuse me. Oh, this way. Oh, this. I never paid attention to this. You brush off a blanket of thick moss and linen from the ancient magical pattern carved into the earth, I believe, maybe? I don't know. The essence of power wakes at your touch, bringing slight warmth to your fingertips. 4 black stone obelisks surround the ritual spot. You'll need to scrape off more overgrown decay to read the runic lettering engravings on their surfaces. Bodily fluids breathing life into an unliving vessel. Okay, so I need... Where did I get that bug ichor? Oh, I know where we got it from. Leave me alone! How rude. I'm upset that makes no sense. Why after? You should have been asleep by then. Rude. Pumpkin jack though. Really. I gotta go all the way to the fieldlands. To the fields. Oh wait, hold on, I need to go down. You fill the bowl with an offering of anatomic liquids. The fluid slowly disappears as if being drained by some unseen thirst, until only the wet residue remains. The eastern obelisk yearns for the tooth of a dragon. You haven't seen any real dragons in years, but who knows what's out in the swamps. You drop the sharp reptilian fang into the stone basin with a heavy clunk. It spins like a top, emitting a high-pitched whine before shattering into fine white dust. The northern obelisk calls for proof of the dead. The afterlife is nothing but bureaucratic. A death certificate from the leech would fit the bill. Of course it would. The western obelisk requires a source of undead animation. You place the token of undead into the basin. It flutters like a candle for a moment, before the shadowy umbra of the obelisk snuffs it out. The shadowy doctor prowls amongst the cots, eyeing the weakest patients with a dark hunger. She snaps a quivering tentacle at you as you approach. Not a step closer, who knows what sort of disgusting maladies you might be carrying. Yes, I'm a pox-ridden wretch, I know, but I need a death certificate from you. Specifically of the short-bearded man we spoke about. His wife is in no condition to roll her chair through the swamp, so she's asked me to collect it for her. I don't simply give out death certificates to anyone claiming to be someone's aunt, grandmother, or friend. This is a legitimate operation. She turns her back to you and rummages through a nearby medicinal closet. Now where has that serum got to? Don't tell me we're already out. What's the matter, out of stock? It's a shame you don't have the time to go out yourself. She tenses at your continued presence. What are you getting at? Medicine for the death certificate. I think that's a fair trade, don't you? You would barter with people's lives that are on the line. Fine, you'll have your paperwork, you filthy degenerate. Clearly too angry to speak with you, she shoves a list of required medicinal supplies into your hands. I need more dragonfly wing. up some of my me medicine? Fine, but I'm making some extras for me. The leech stuffs the poultice into an unsanitary-looking cabinet without a second glance. The leech takes the wings with a surprisingly delicate touch and lays them out carefully along the surface of a clear shelf. The leech inspects the barbs before placing each of them carefully into a velvet-lined container along other excruciating-looking instruments. I run your errands, now I really must insist on that death certificate. There's no need to get prickly, I'll have your papers right here. The leech extends her moist arm and thrusts a poorly written note into your hands. You shake the mucus from the paper and try to decipher the loopy, illegible scribbles. You're not even sure that the leech spelled the poor man's name right, but you suppose it's better than nothing. Fah! Next time I need a doctor's note, I'm better off forging the signature myself. If it isn't illegible, it's not a doctor's note. I'm having too much fun with that. The Northern Obelisk calls for proof of the dead. The afterlife is nothing if not bureaucratic. A death certificate from the leech would fit the bill. The humid swamp air has made the paper of the death certificate soft and damp. As you drop it into the bowl, it decomposes before your eyes until nothing is left. With the final offering accepted, the obelisk surrounding the circle begin to hum. You can hear a strange melody playing through their discordant tones. The carvings on the ground burn with renewed energy, driving away the overgrowth. You're quick to step away as you feel a vacuous force pull at the circle's center. A vacuous, probably. I suppose that's done the trick. Let's see what the writing has to say for itself now. You rotate your head to read the glowing letters on the edge of the circle. Place the vessel of the deceased, yada yada. Recite the evocation of necrodormus, blah blah. Apply the canopic ointment. Right, seems straightforward enough. All I need to do now is go fetch the body of that poor fool husband. He should be in the swamp somewhere. Where? Okay. This must be where the nurse has been dumping surplus of corpses. I'll need to take a closer look at each one to find the right fellow. Where on earth is that stinking body? You'd think I'd be able to find him among the dead here. You watch a particularly bloated fly land on a rotting hand poking out of the muck. Its disgusting proboscis probes at the withered flesh. Two globular red eyes slowly unglue themselves and swivel to boggle at the insect. A huge slime-covered tongue lashes out and pulls the hapless fly into a gaping, toothless maw, along with the most of the sunken corpse. Well, I suppose that explains where my misplaced man went. This is Croak. Can it be? Has a lovely young morsel wandered its way into my palace? You call this filthy bog a palace? He throws his head back, shaking the swamp with burbling laughter. Smaller frogs and newts scurry out of the way to avoid being crushed by his enormous bulk. Har har har, wouldn't you? This place is a veritable bounty of insects, and my subjects have such healthy appetites so they will all grow big and strong. I'd eat you too, but that head of yours looks much too hard. I prefer my food, burp, to be nice and tender. Look, you wouldn't perchance have seen an old man pass through here, have you? About yay high, full beard, deadish. The frog taps his fingers against a log, grinning an impossibly large grin. Oh yes, I do believe I've seen the chap. He had such a delectable aroma, and fall off the bone ribs. But I'm sorry to say that once something goes down the hatch, it never sees the light of day again. We'll see about that. I'm sure I can come up with some just desserts for you. The frog rolls his eyes around and around as if daring you to try something. Hey. Do I even have everything? I do! Surprisingly! What is this? Goblin snot. Okay. You wrap a juicy looking grub around the medicinal tablets and offer it up to the frog king. Your Majesty, I really must find the whereabouts of that gentleman. Perhaps a small tribute will persuade you to loosen your tongue. The frog gulps down the tantalizing meal without a thought. Ah, delectable gift. Thank you, my pretty. Now I already told you where. His nostrils flare for a moment, then he sneezes, sending specks of wet mucus flying. The frog's throat suddenly expands, filling with gas. The belch that erupts from his lips resonates so loudly that the entire swamp ceases its buzzing. You avert your eyes, but the noise and smell of the frog's explosive eruption almost knocks you off your feet. Great Glinda's ghost! What is that stench? The frog wobbles on its legs, looking thoroughly emptied. He teeters before rolling his huge body back into the swamp with a thunderous splash. You spot the slippery body of the husband floating in the bog water. Luckily, he seems to be missing some bits and pieces, so it should fold up quite nicely. This is not the game I thought it was, by the way. This is very different, but I'm still loving it. The circle of powder is ready and waiting for its necromantic purpose. With considerable effort, you unfold the husband's decaying body from your satchel and slap it down into the middle of the circle. Invisible shackles wrap around the corpse's limbs and pull it, spread eagle, against the ground. A strange mist rises from the obelisks, casting everything in a sickening green light. Slowly but surely, the corpse begins to levitate off the ground. It rotates to face each obelisk one by one. Oh, get on with it, I haven't got all day! You give the rotting head a good kick as it passes by you. With a gasp of stale air, the body drops to the ground. Suddenly it bolts upright. Gah! Well, hello there. You caused me a lot of trouble, you know that. The reanimated corpse claws at his throat. Oh, sorry. Wait a moment. Near your feet, you see a disembodied tongue flopping about on the ground like a worm. You scoop it up and quickly toss it into the man's gaping mouth. Gross. Fluck! Though he moves his jaw, his lurching voice seems to emanate from someplace beyond. Murderer! What? I am not. You were quite dead when I found you. No! Leech! Murdered me! He clutches his hollowed chest as if trying to feel his heart beating. Gave me plague! Drained my blood! Leech! Murdered others! He swings a limp arm towards the body-filled bog. I knew there was something awful stink about that sick house. What sort of doctor infects her own patients? Check her office! Find proof! Don't you worry, I'll make sure that parasite gets what's coming to her. But you should head back home. Your wife is worried half to death about you. He turns and looks longingly over his shoulder. You can hear his vertebrae popping. Yes, late. As he shambles into the choking mist, he gives you a crooked nod of thanks. Excuse me, pretend I'm not even here. While the leech is busy with her patients, you rifle through the contents of the various cabinets in her office, mostly dried herbs and potions. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. That is until you notice a suspicious-looking bookcase set against the wall. The books are all fake, just chopped down spines glued to solid plank. Your fingers race across the medical titles and quickly find a loose volume. With a click of a switch, the whole bookcase swings open to reveal a secret compartment. Your heart jumps at the sight. Racks upon racks of bottled blood are arranged like a fine wines. Each vessel meticulously catalogues the name, description, and age of its source. It looks like that thirsty slug's been sapping the living for years. On a nearby table, you spy a decanter half filled with ruby red liquid. You wonder whose blood it contains. A dash of salt will remind that slimy worm that there's worse things out there than bloodsuckers. Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to make sure. You sprinkle a generous amount of the embalming salts collected from the grave of the leech's victim into the decanter. As the salt dissolves into the bloody cocktail, you hear the telltale squelch of the good doctor's approach. "What are you doing? Can't you see that this is my private office? I already helped you enough, so there's no reason you ought to be here." She hastily shuffles you out of the room. "Now get out! This place is only for the sick." You're certainly right about that. You walk just out of sight before doubling back to hide behind a withered get-well bouquet. You peer at the vexed leech as she slithers around her office, checking every cabinet and lock for tampering. She mutters something expletive about nosy old women. Satisfied, she sighs with relief and reaches to pour herself a glass from the tainted decanter. Ah, that addition of black fever adds a certain nutty quality. Maybe it will pair well with an infusion of peat moss palsy in the next batch. She takes a sip, waiting just a moment before throwing her head back and guzzling it all down. Lovely, sharp flavor, full body too. Suddenly the leech snaps to attention. Her limbs dart out, withering with uncontrollable gestures. She stabilizes herself against the table as sweat pools on her brow. The decanter shatters against the floor in an explosion of glass. What's happening? The leech spasms as the tendrils of ghostly spirits begin to suck the moisture from her body. You watch as she dwindles in size, shrinking like some horrible raisin. You inspect the mummified worm, pressing it between your fingers lightly. The leech. Collect the soul of the leech in the swamp. Alright. Drained by the very spirit she was supposed to be healing. In your fingertips, you make out the faintest of heartbeats. The soul of the leech. The leech quest complete. I don't believe it. This was happening right under my nose the whole time. Now you can actually start helping people. All right. Let's head on home. Okay. Thank you all so much for watching Witchwood. This was another stream for the chapter of the Leech. Now, the last chapter we will be of like the first part of this game. The last chapter of the first part of this game, the bear. We will be doing that in the next stream. I will be seeing you guys then. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed playing this game. And I can't wait to see you in my next stream and experience more of this game together. It is certainly interesting, and I quite find it very entertaining. Bye-bye. Good night.